Okay. So let's start the class. And today we will learn about nucleus. Nucleus. So the nucleus was first observed. Nucleus was first observed by Leeuwenhoek in RBC of fish. It's the salmon fish. Okay. The second, observed. Leeuwenhoek just observed, but studied. Who conducted the study on the nucleus? So basically, the study was conducted by Robert Brown in the year 1831. So nucleus, which was observed first time by the Leeuwenhoek, but the nucleus as a cell organelle was first described by Robert Brown. Robert Brown in the year 1831. First time he observed and studied nucleus as a cell organelle. Robert Brown studied nucleus as a cell organelle. Is the board clearly visible? दिख रहा है सबको अच्छे से लिखा हुआ each and every word or not? So, Robert Brown in the year 1831 first studied nucleus as a cell organelle in where? In root cells of orchids. Later on, there comes another scientist, and the name of the scientist is Fleming. He stained the material that is present inside the nucleus with a basic dye, and that is a methylene blue. And depending upon the stain picked by the substances, he again give the name chromatin. ये जो chromatin word है, chromo means color and chromatin bodies. That means the color bodies. That means the color substances. So the another scientist, that is your Fleming, he gives the name chromatin to the material that is present inside the nucleus. For if this is a cell, this is the nucleus. So the substances which is present inside the nucleus, these substances were given the name chromatin based upon staining with the help of a basic dye was given by another scientist, that is your Fleming. So Fleming ने क्या किया? Chromatin name दिया. Okay. So Fleming gives the name chromatin to the substances present inside the nucleus. And this naming chromatin as a name was given on the basis of staining with dye. So gives the name chromatin to the substances present inside the nucleus on the basis of staining with a basic dye. And here the basic dye most commonly used is your methylene blue. Methylene blue. तो अभी तक हम 3 इंपॉर्टेंट साइंटिस्ट के बारे में पढ़े और तीनों ने अलग अलग फर्स्ट टाइम ऑब्जर्व किया था ल्यूवेनहुक ने। सेकेंड टाइम सबसे पहले उसको डिस्क्राइब किसने किया था एज अ सेल ऑर्गेनेल, स्टडी किसने किया था, इट्स बाय द रॉबर्ट ब्राउन इन द ईयर 1831 एंड लेटर ऑन फ्लेमिंग वाज अनदर साइंटिस्ट who stained the substances that is present inside the nucleus. Till date, we are not knowing that there is something which is a hereditary material. It consists of DNA. It is the chromosome. It bears genes. कुछ नहीं पता था because it was the very first experiment. So the name chromatin was suggested by Fleming. Fleming ने name suggest किया to these substances as your chromatin that is present inside the nucleus, and this name was given on the basis of staining with the basic dye. क्योंकि डीएनए हमारा नेगेटिवली चार्ज होता है, इसलिए हम लोगों ने उसको स्टेन किया विद द बेसिक डाई, दैट इज योर क्रोमा का मतलब होता है कलर, और इन सब्सटेंसेस ने कलर को पिक कर लिया था, कलर पिक किया था, कलर्ड बॉडीज थे, इस वजह से उसने इसको नाम दे दिया क्रोमैटिक. Then came another scientist, that is your Hammerling, J. Hammerling. J. Hammerling was another scientist who first stated that the genetic material which is responsible for the transmission of characters from the parents to the offspring is present inside the nucleus. So another biggest revolutionary experiment was conducted by J. Hammerling in the year 1953. And he told presence of hereditary material in the nucleus, that your hereditary material, heredity का मतलब होता है the characters, the features that are being passed from one generation to the next generation, from the parents to the offspring. So basically this J. Hammerling, he used to conduct his experiments on an alga known as Acetabularia. देखो जो भी ऐसे वर्ड हैं ये मैं अलग अलग लिख रही हूँ, मैं कर्सिव नहीं लिख रही हूँ सर, मुझे कभी कभी. So J. Hammerling, he used to conduct his experiments on Acetabularia, that is an alga. And this Acetabularia मैंने पहले भी आपको कभी ना कभी जरूर बताया होगा, it's a unicellular alga which is largest unicellular alga having a length of 10 centimeter. So it's an alga, Acetabularia, and on this your Hammerling conducted the experiment. It's important question आता है MCQ में. Conducted the experiment, and Hammerling was the scientist who confirmed and who for the very first time informed the presence of hereditary material, presence of hereditary material inside the nucleus. Presence of hereditary material inside the nucleus. So these four scientists all together contributed a lot towards the discovery of the nucleus, or how it's for the very first time we came to know about the nucleus. Your nucleus is also considered as the largest cell organelle. You can also say that it's the largest extracytoplasmic cell organelle. Okay, so after the discovery, we will come to the point that is numbers. When I will write in normal handwriting, it will take time for me to write. Okay, numbers. Usually there is one nucleus per cell. Usually, I'm here using the word usually. There is one nucleus per cell. but there can be more than one nucleus if you consider paramecium. I'm using the word paramecium because it's a very normal thing to be known by all of you. सब लोग जानते हैं amoeba, paramecium. हमने जब से biology पढ़ना start किया है, we all know about that. So paramecium has 2 nucleus, is it? Anyone remembers? But paramecium, it has 2 nucleus. Paramecium has 2 nucleus. One nucleus is known as macronucleus, which is responsible for conducting the metabolic activity of the cell. And another nucleus is known as micronucleus, and it's responsible to carry the hereditary material. So paramecium, exceptions are always there in biology, and in case of paramecium, which has a sleeper-like structures, आपने कभी भी ऐसे फोटो बनाई होगी, बुक में देखा होगा, sleeper-like structure having cilia all over the body, and they have 2 nucleus. They have 2 nucleus. One is your macro. One is your macronucleus and the other one is your micronucleus. Your macronucleus is responsible for conducting or controlling metabolic activity. Controlling metabolic activity. नोट्स बना रहे हो आप लोग या बस ऐसे ही बैठ के सुनते रहते हो?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. बना रहे.
Good, very good. Rudra, Ronak, what about you? About the macro and the micronucleus. Your macronucleus, in case of paramecium, is responsible for controlling the metabolic activity, and your micronucleus carry the hereditary information. Carry hereditary information. Okay, so ये macronucleus है, मैंने यहाँ लिखा है controlling metabolic activity, and this is your micronucleus, which is responsible for carry the hereditary information in case of paramecium. That means they possess the hereditary information which is to be passed from one generation to the next generation. Apart from paramecium, which has 2 nucleus, there are certain cells. There are certain multinucleated cells are also there. Some of the animals, some of the plants, they are also multinucleated. For example, this multinucleated condition can be of 2 types. All of you have. So basically, we have seen that number of nucleus may be 1, maybe 2, or the nucleus may be a cell may be multinucleated in cases of certain animals and plants. Multinucleated conditions भी हमें देखने के लिए मिलता है. This multinucleated condition can be of 2 types. It's like that 2 cells they fuse together. तो 2 nucleus आ गया, cell fuse किया तो 2 nucleus. फिर से वो fuse किया 3 nucleus, 4 nucleus. तो a cell having more than 1 nucleus, that is multinucleated condition. That is known as syncytium. I will write. But in case of certain fungus, as I have discussed with you in the last class, there what happens, that is coinocytic condition. Nucleus is dividing, the number of nucleus is dividing, but the cytoplasm is not dividing. That means कि cell division जो है वो incomplete cell division हो रहे हैं, and because of that also multinucleated condition you can see. So multinucleated condition is found in some organisms. So this is 1, this is 2, this is 3. Multi-nucleated condition is also found in some organisms. For example, Ascaris. What happened in case of Ascaris? The cell consists of a number of nucleus, arises due to fusion of cell. Arises due to fusion of cell. If this is one cell, this is another cells, they will fuse. एक cell, दो nucleus. It will again fuse with another cells. So it has now 4 nucleus. Getting my point? So in case of Ascaris, it's multi-nucleated. It's multi-nucleated because of fusion of cell. Fusion of cell. And this condition is known as, this is S. Okay. This condition of multi-nucleated cells, which is being made due to the fusion of the cell, is known as syncytium. It arises due to fusion of cells. Most common example is यहाँ पर Ascaris लिखा है. The other condition, which is also found in certain fungus also, in plants also, that is your koinocytic condition. ये जैसे syncytium condition है. The another one is koinocytic. What happened in koinocytic? It's being found in some fungus and plants. It's due to incomplete cell division. What happened in case of cell division? First the nucleus divides and then the cytoplasm will divide. But in case of koinocytic, what happened? Due to repeated nuclear division, nucleus is dividing but cytokinesis is not taking place. So the number of nucleus is increasing, but after nucleus division, cytokinesis, that means the division of the cytoplasm is not taking place. Let's see here. If this is a cell, this cell has to divide into 2. So what happens basically? इसमें एक न्यूक्लियस से 2 न्यूक्लियस बना ली. 2 न्यूक्लियस को क्या होना था? फिर सेपरेट आउट होना था. तभी ये 2 डिफरेंट सेल्स बनते with a single nucleus. But what happened in case of koinocytic condition? This cytokinesis, that means the division of the cytoplasm, will not take place. नहीं होता है, and there is repeated nuclear division without cytokinesis. Repeated nuclear division nucleus होना चाहिए without cytokinesis. So it's the repeated nuclear division without cytokinesis, and the example is your certain fungus and plants. The most common example that we can see is your Rhizopus. Rhizopus. So question हो सकता है. So the question can be multinucleated syncytium division. That means because of the fusions of the cell. So you will remember the example Ascaris. But if the question is multinucleated where there is no cytokinesis but multiple nuclear division, and that is the most common example is your Rhizopus, and that condition is known as koinocytic. Note it down. So before the division of a cell prepare itself for division. You all know that we all such a huge large human being, our life also starts from a single cell, that is your embryo. वही तो डिवाइड कर करके इतना बड़ा सा बॉडी बन गया है, तो दैट इज एक सिंगल सेल से स्टार्ट हुआ है, वहां न्यूक्लियस है. बट जब भी हमने पैरामीशियम की बात की, उसके पास भी 2 न्यूक्लियस है. अब जब हम फंगस पढ़ेंगे, फिलामेंटस फंगस पढ़ेंगे, वहां मैं आपको जरूर बताऊंगी कि ऐसा ये कोइनोसिटिक कंडीशन वहां क्यों होता है. इट्स नॉट always it takes place, and it all the fungus it's being found, it's due to the requirement of the cell. What is the requirement of the cell, where they have to. जब भी हम स्लाइम मोल्ड्स वगैरह पढ़ेंगे, क्योंकि अभी ये वर्ड मैं आपके सामने यूज नहीं कर रही हूँ, क्योंकि मैंने अभी आपको बायोलॉजिकल क्लासिफिकेशन नहीं पढ़ाया है. जब भी हम स्लाइम मोल्ड्स भी पढ़ेंगे, वहां पर हम पढ़ेंगे कि दे ऑल्सो हैव दिस कंडीशन, प्लाज्मोडियम, जो कि मल्टी न्यूक्लिएटेड कंडीशन होता है. वो एग्जाम्पल्स मैं अभी यूज ही नहीं करती हूँ. क्यों नहीं करती हूँ? मैं अभी ये कोइनोसिटिक भी आपको नहीं बताती, बट क्या है ना, बहुत सारे बच्चे अपना मॉड्यूल ओपन करेंगे और वहां ये एग्जाम्पल होगा. ये मैं आपको कब बताती? जब मैं आपको बायोलॉजिकल क्लासिफिकेशन में पढ़ाऊंगी, फंगस के बारे में डिटेल में पढ़ाऊंगी, उसके रिप्रोडक्शन के बारे में बताऊंगी, तब मैं आपको ये चीज बताती हूँ नॉर्मली. बट आजकल बच्चे बहुत जल्दी ये हो जाते, पैनिक हो जाते, इसलिए बता दिया. तो मैं बोलती कि जब हमने न्यूक्लियस पढ़ा था, हमने पढ़ा था मल्टी न्यूक्लिएटेड, तो दिस इज योर मल्टी न्यूक्लिएटेड कंडीशन. गेटिंग माय पॉइंट? ओके. So in all the organisms, the type, the way the cell divide is also not same. जब भी हम अमीबा की बात करते हैं, हम वहां बाइनरी फिजन की बात करते, कहीं कहीं हम बाइनरी फ्यूजन की भी बात करते, हम अमाइटोटिक सेल डिवीजन की बात करते. अभी तक हमें सिर्फ इतना पता है कि बैक्टीरिया जो है, प्रोकैरियोट जो है, उनके पास सिर्फ असेक्सुअल मोड ऑफ रिप्रोडक्शन होता है, बट दे हैव पैरासेक्सुअल रिप्रोडक्शन के मोड्स भी होते हैं. अभी मैं अगर आपको बता दूंगी कि यस, दे आल्सो एक्सचेंज द जेनेटिक मटेरियल, ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन होता है, ट्रांसडक्शन होता है, तो ये पहला चैप्टर है, आप इधर ही घूम के रह जाओगे. इसलिए जैसे जैसे वो चीजें आएंगी, आई विल टीच यू, आई विल एक्सप्लेन यू. ये जब भी हम पढ़ेंगे सिंसाइटियम कंडीशन, जब भी हम पढ़ेंगे ये कोइनोसिटिक कंडीशन कहाँ होता है, आई विल एक्सप्लेन द थिंग्स वेरी क्लियरली. ओके. सो after the number of nucleus, there are other factors that also important occurrence. कि कौन से सेल्स में नहीं होता है. Nucleus is found both in prokaryotes and eukaryotes, but in case of prokaryotes, there is absence of true nucleus. Is it? And in that case, the nucleus is known as Gitanjali?
Nucleoid.
Yes.
Nucleoid.
Very good. So, but in case of prokaryotes, true nucleus is absent. In case of eukaryotes, all the eukaryotic cells, they have nucleus, except you all know, it's the mature sieve tube cell. Yes, RBC. Yes, that is mature RBC, as well as mature sieve tube cells of vascular plants. Vascular plants के जो cells होते हैं, vascular cells जो होते हैं plant के, sieve tube cells, उनके पास भी नहीं होता है. That is your nucleus. So it is found in eukaryotic cells except mature mammalian erythrocytes, that is your RBC, and in mature sieve tubes of higher plants. So your occurrence found in all eukaryotic cell except mature mammalian erythrocytes, and sieve tube cells of higher plants. These sieve tube cells, they are a special type of cells that is present in the vascular tissue of plant. You know that the vascular tissues of plant are xylem and phloem. तो phloem में ये sieve tube cells होते हैं जहां पर nucleus नहीं होता है, and these sieve tube cells are always in association with another cell known as companion cells. The name itself says कि companion cells जो होता है वो उसको support करता है in all the various metabolic activity in the transduction. So जो sieve tubes हैं, they are also devoid of your nucleus. After occurrence, the another important thing that we have to learn, हमने number पढ़ लिया, हमने occurrence पढ़ लिया, shape and size. The shape of nucleus is usually round, but in case of any plants, it can be oval, discoidal or elliptical. Plant cells में मोस्टली अगर आप इसका आउटलाइन देखोगे तो ये आपको ओवल ही नजर आता है, ओवल ही होता है, बट here I am using the term rounded in outline, but they appear oval or elliptical in plant cells. Oval or elliptical in plant cells. Size. The size of the nucleus is 5 to 25 micrometer. As well as the size of the nucleus depends upon the nucleocytoplasmic index or nucleocytoplasmic ratio. It's the nucleocytoplasmic index or nucleocytoplasmic ratio. इस पे ये डिपेंड करता है, the size of the nucleus. So numerically, how you can write it? Numerically? So basically, it's the volume of the nucleus divided by volume of the cytoplasm minus volume of the nucleus. So this is your nucleocytoplasmic ratio. Vn, that is the volume of nucleus, divided by Vc, that is your volume of cytoplasm, minus volume of nucleus. So this is the nucleocytoplasmic ratio जो हमें न्यूक्लियस का साइज बताता है कि कितना हमारे न्यूक्लियस का साइज होना चाहिए और उसके अकॉर्डिंग हमारा साइटोप्लाज्म कितना बड़ा होना चाहिए. तो बेसिकली the size in a cell, there is definite nucleocytoplasmic ratio, and this ratio is given by a scientist known as Hartwig. For example, if you compare a rat and an elephant, तो बचपन में कभी सोचा होगा रैट तो इतना छोटा सा है तो उसके सेल्स बहुत छोटे होंगे, एलिफेंट इतना बड़ा है तो उसके सेल्स बहुत बड़े होते होंगे. तो इट डजंट डिपेंड्स, ये हमारे साइज पे, हम पूरे बॉडी के साइज पे डिपेंड नहीं करता. सेल का साइज जो होता है वो सेम ही होता है, बट द साइज ऑफ द सेल्स, द साइज ऑफ द न्यूक्लियस, द साइज ऑफ द साइटोप्लाज्म, मैंने यहाँ पे वॉल्यूम लिखा है बच्चा, आई एम यूजिंग द टर्म वॉल्यूम. वॉल्यूम और साइज इज डिफरेंट. वॉल्यूम की हमारा जो न्यूक्लियस है, साइटोप्लाज्म है, उसका क्या वॉल्यूम है, दिस. जब भी आपने मैथमेटिक्स पढ़ा होगा टिल 10th, तो हमने देखा है कि वहां पर जब भी हम किसी चीज का सरफेस एरिया निकालते हैं उसका दूसरा फॉर्मूला होता है और हम उसका वॉल्यूम निकालते हैं तो दूसरा फॉर्मूला होता है. यस और नो? तो डेफिनेटली यहाँ पर भी सेम चीज है कि हम बोल रहे हैं न्यूक्लियोसाइटोप्लाज्मिक इंडेक्स और रेशियो ये डिटरमाइन करता है योर साइज ऑफ द न्यूक्लियस, एंड इट्स गिवन बाय एन साइंटिस्ट नोन एज हर्टविग, HERTWIG. Hartwig was a scientist जिसने ये फर्स्ट टाइम बोला था न्यूक्लियोसाइटोप्लाज्मिक रेशियो. So it is the largest component of a cell. Nucleus is the largest component of a cell होता है ये, and volume of the nucleus and the volume of the cytoplasm जो है वो हमारे size of the cell को determine करता है. तो the size of the nucleus depends upon other factors also. Other factor क्या है? सबसे पहला factor है तुम्हारा volume of cell. Yes or no? So first factor on which it depends the size of the nucleus is volume of cell. सेल का जितना वॉल्यूम होगा उसके अकॉर्डिंग ही आपका साइटोप्लाज्म का वॉल्यूम होगा. तो फर्स्ट इज द वॉल्यूम ऑफ सेल. The second is the amount of genetic material, amount of DNA that is present inside the nucleus. Because you know in the nucleus there is genetic material, there is genetic information. So amount of material also, amount of material inside the nucleus. Amount of DNA, and your DNA is not alone, it's also associated with certain proteins. So amount of DNA and proteins. And the other important fact is your metabolic activity. The third point which determines the size of a nucleus is your metabolic activity of cell. Activity of cell. Higher the अभी जो दो लाइंस में बोलूंगी, listen to that very carefully, very carefully. So these are the three factors on which the size of the nucleus depends. Size depends. Higher the metabolic activity of a cell, higher the metabolic activity of a cell, smaller the size. जितना ज्यादा मेटाबॉलिकली एक्टिव सेल होगा उतना ही छोटा उसका साइज होगा. So metabolically active cells are usually smaller due to higher nucleocytoplasmic ratio, due to higher nucleocytoplasmic ratio as well as surface to volume ratio. Surface to volume ratio भी ज्यादा है, nucleocytoplasmic ratio भी ज्यादा है, but the size of a cell, सेल का साइज डिपेंड करता है उसके मेटाबॉलिक एक्टिविटी पे भी. और ऐसा लगता होगा बहुत ज्यादा मेटाबॉलिक एक्टिव सेल है तो उसका साइज ज्यादा बड़ा होना चाहिए, होता होगा, बट इट्स नॉट लाइक दैट. जब भी सेल बहुत छोटा होता है उस समय फर्स्ट सेल है, उससे बहुत सारे सेल बनाने, पूरे ऑर्गेनिज्म को फॉर्म करना है. इट हैज टू प्रिपेयर इटसेल्फ फॉर ए नंबर ऑफ डिविजन्स. सो जितना भी मेटाबॉलिक एक्टिव सेल होगा उसका साइज उतना ही छोटा होगा. सो मेक अ नोट ऑफ इट कि मेटाबॉलिकली एक्टिव सेल्स आर स्मॉलर ड्यू टू, राइट इट डाउन ऑल ऑफ यू. आर यू ऑल राइटिंग? ये क्वेश्चन आता है, ये क्वेश्चन.
यस मैम.
आज जब भी आप अपना बुकलेट सॉल्व करने देखोगे तो देखोगे इससे रिलेटेड एक क्वेश्चन जरूर आपको मिलेगा. सो बेसिकली राइट इट डाउन कि मेटाबॉलिकली एक्टिव सेल्स आर स्मॉलर ड्यू टू हायर न्यूक्लियोसाइटोप्लाज्मिक रेशियो, ड्यू टू हायर न्यूक्लियोसाइटोप्लाज्मिक रेशियो, higher nucleocytoplasmic ratio and higher surface volume ratio. I'm also writing here metabolically active cells are small in size due to higher nucleocytoplasmic ratio, and the second is your higher surface to volume ratio. इन सारे फैक्टर्स पे डिपेंड करता है कि आपका सेल कितना मेटाबॉलिकली एक्टिव है. So all the active cells are smaller. ठीक है, all the active cells are smaller. So larger cell, अगर हम बोलते हैं कि सेल लार्ज है, यहाँ पर मैंने लिखा है मेटाबॉलिकली एक्टिव सेल्स आर स्मॉल. But if the question is the cell is larger, so what will be the nucleocytoplasmic ratio and what will be the surface to volume ratio? What will be your answer? So जैसे कि मेटाबॉलिकली स्मॉल जब एक्टिव सेल्स है तो उसका साइज स्मॉल है. बट इफ वी विल टॉक अबाउट द सेल्स विच आर लार्जर सेल्स की हम बात करते हैं, तो लार्जर सेल्स में क्या होगा, इसका उल्टा होगा. लार्जर सेल्स में क्या होगा, जस्ट अपोजिट ऑफ दैट. That means they have lower nucleocytoplasmic ratio and as well as low surface to volume ratio. Clear to all of you? So
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
larger cells have less surface volume ratio. Yes, बच्चा बोलो.
Ma'am, please explain high surface to volume ratio.
Just a minute. Observe this diagram. यहाँ 3 different cubes है of different size. Look at them. I'll be back. So you can see here 3 different shapes of मतलब sizes of cubes. 3 different तरह के cubes आपको दिख रहे हैं. The white one that is smaller. उससे थोड़ा सा बड़ा जो है वो लाइट पिंक कलर का है और उससे थोड़ा सा जो बड़ा है वो कैसा है, वो डार्क पिंक कलर. यस, तो अकॉर्डिंग टू अस हमने अभी क्या पढ़ा कि स्मॉल सेल जो होगा उसका हाई सरफेस टू वॉल्यूम रेशियो होना चाहिए. यस और नो? यही पढ़ा ना हमने कि जो
Yes,
हाई
ma'am.
होगा.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So you can see here 3 cubes है having surface area of, you can see the first one white का surface area कितना दिख रहा है, 6 square centimeter. Can you see?
Yes, ma'am.
छोटा, हाँ. Surface area of the smallest cube, you can see here that the surface area is 6 square millimeter. But if you will see the volume of the smaller cube, then it's 1 का cube होता है ना, then it's 6:1. Yes or no? तो you can see here कि जब अब आप surface to volume ratio निकालोगे तो क्या होगा, 6:1. Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
But now we will move to the second, the lighter pink one. The lighter pink one, they have a side of 2 centimeter. 2 square millimeter का है. तो क्या हो जाएगा, surface area 2 into 2 into 6. That is 24 square millimeter. But if you will calculate the volume, तो volume क्या होता है, 2 का cube होगा. That is your 8 cubic millimeter. When you now you will find the surface to volume ratio, तो 24/8. That is 3:1. Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Now we will move to the larger one. सबसे बड़े वाले के साइज के पास जाएंगे और वो मैंने 3 स्क्वायर मिलीमीटर का बनाया है. 3 स्क्वायर मिलीमीटर का बनाया है तो उसका सरफेस एरिया क्या हो जाएगा, 3 into 3 और into 6 यानी 54. ये जो है 1 into 1 into 6 ये फॉर्मूला है बच्चा, आपने पढ़ा होगा क्यूब का फॉर्मूला. यस और नो? पढ़ा था सरफेस एरिया ऑफ क्यूब.
Yes.
ठीक है. तो बेसिकली यू कैन सी हियर द सरफेस एरिया ऑफ द क्यूब, द लार्जर क्यूब जो 3 स्क्वायर मिलीमीटर का है, दैट इज योर 3 into 3 into 6, that is 54 square millimeter. And if you calculate the volume, then it's 3 into 3 into 3, that is 27. So surface by volume will be 54/27, that is 2:1. अब बताओ किसका surface to volume ratio ज्यादा है, सबसे छोटे वाले क्यूब का या सबसे बड़े वाले क्यूब का?
Smaller.
सबसे छोटे वाले.
क्लियर हो गया कि जो सबसे छोटे साइज का है उसका सरफेस टू वॉल्यूम रेशियो क्या होता है, लार्जर होता है. क्लियर
Larger.
बच्चा? यस. अब कभी नहीं बोलोगे. यस, इट्स द अपोजिट. जितना metabolically active cell है, two things you have to remember. The higher the metabolic active cell, the smaller is the size. The smaller the size, the higher the surface volume ratio. So write it like this. Write it, एक note लिखो and write it there कि metabolically active cell, smaller the size of the cell. Cell is directly proportional कह सकते हो कि अगर सेल छोटा है, you can say inversely proportional. सेल अगर हमारा छोटा है तो उसका सरफेस टू वॉल्यूम रेशियो सबसे ज्यादा होगा. और रिमेंबर कर लेना, मैम ने 3 क्यूब्स दिखाए थे. जो सबसे छोटा था उसका सरफेस वॉल्यूम रेशियो सबसे ज्यादा था, हमने देखा अभी 6:1, फिर उसके बाद 1:3 और उसके बाद 1:2. तो धीरे धीरे कम होते चला गया. तो दिस इज हाउ your cell size is related to the surface to volume ratio, as well as the size of the nucleus also depends upon volume of cell, that is volume of the cytoplasm as well, amount of DNA and protein. For example, we have 46 chromosomes. वो DNA highly coiled है. अगर हम किसी अपने एक सेल के DNA को पूरा ऐसे stretch करेंगे तो that is 2 meter long. But the size, क्योंकि उस 2 मीटर को एडजस्ट करने के लिए भी बहुत थोड़ा सा साइज है, तो कैसे रहता है, इसी वजह से वो हाईली coiled स्ट्रक्चर में होता है. So basically the size of the genetic material that is present in the nucleus, the volume of the cell, as well as your metabolically active, कितना metabolically active cell है, ये तीनों चीजें डिसाइड करते हैं the size of the cell. Clear? अगर ये तीनों ऑप्शन होंगे तो एमसीक्यू में आप लिखोगे all of the above. ठीक है, क्लियर, समझ में आ गया सबको अच्छे से? नाउ
Yes, ma'am.
yes, very good. Now I will draw a diagram of a nucleus. So basically the nucleus is also divided into 4 different parts बोल सकते हैं. The first is the envelope, that is the nuclear envelope. It's also double membrane, that is your outer membrane and the inner membrane. 2 membrane हो गया. और उसके अंदर क्या होता है, that is your nucleoplasm, that is the matrix. Nucleoplasm है, that is the semi-solid आप बोल सकते हो substances in which a number of different enzymes are present. Apart from these two things, the nucleus also have nucleolus. The number of nucleolus can be varied. वो भी एक हो सकता है and more than one भी हो सकता है. कुछ cells में एक nucleolus नहीं और भी nucleolus होते हैं. हमने पढ़ा था जब हमने ribosomes पढ़ा था, what is the function of nucleolus? हर्षदा, what is the major function of nucleolus? मैंने हिंट भी दे दिया, राइबोसोम्स पढ़ा था, वहां उसका केमिकल कॉम्पोजिशन में मैम ने कुछ तो बताया था कि दिस इज बीइंग सिंथेसाइज्ड इन द न्यूक्लियोलस ऑफ द न्यूक्लियस. श्लोक, ribosomal RNA. Yes, very good. It's the rRNA. So basically we will talk about the structure of nucleus. So the structure of nucleus consists of 4 major parts. One is your nuclear envelope. The second one is your nucleoplasm. The third one is your न्यूक्लियर मैट्रिक्स. आपको याद होगा जब मैंने आपको इंटरमीडिएट फिलामेंट्स पढ़ाया था तो मैंने आपको बोला था नियर द न्यूक्लियस दे हैव इंटरमीडिएट फिलामेंट्स that is known as nuclear lamina, which is required for the formation of the nuclear membrane after cell division. Do you remember? तो वो भी होगा यहाँ पे. उसको हम फाइब्रस लेमिना भी बोलते हैं या फिर न्यूक्लियर लेमिना भी बोलते हैं. एंड न्यूक्लियोलस इज ऑल्सो देयर. So as you have started reading the cell division, so basically the best stage to study the nucleus of a cell is the non-dividing stage. That means when a cell is in the interphase stage. जब भी हमारा सेल interphase stage में होता है, that is the best stage to study the shape of the cell. Nucleus. Sorry, मैं चैट पढ़ रही थी तो वो ये हो गया. So basically what happened inside the nucleus, there is genetic material. So when a cell is in non-dividing stage, that means inside the nucleus the chromatin material is present in a highly coiled structure. Highly coiled structure के form में present होता है. आपने पढ़ा cell division में chromatin material. Chromatin material, they condense themselves during cell division to form long, thin, tubular structure, cylindrical structure known as chromosomes. जब भी वो dehydrate होता है, decondensed होता है, then the chromatin material gets converted into chromosome. ऐसा पढ़ा या नहीं पढ़ा?
Yes.
Yes. तो बेसिकली इन द इंटरफेज स्टेज व्हेन वी विल स्टडी द न्यूक्लियस, तभी हमें वहां पर क्या क्या दिखेगा, न्यूक्लियर एनवेलप दिखेगा, आपको न्यूक्लियोप्लाज्मा दिखेगा, and you will find the matrix, nuclear matrix as well as the nucleolus. So best stage to study the nucleus is the interphase stage, in which you will see the chromatin material. Now Fleming ने क्या किया, Fleming he used to stain the material that is present inside the nucleus with a basic dye, and after that he confirmed that some of the material it takes the color of the stain darker. ठीक है, तो उसने on the basis of this it also divides the nuclear material into two different types. जो chromatin material है उसको on the basis of dyeing, on the basis of staining, it divided into two different types. euchromatin जो lightly stained हुआ है and heterochromatin जो darkly stained हुआ है. कौन सा, क्रोमेटिन मटेरियल. क्या स्टेन किया था फ्लेमिंग ने, क्रोमेटिन मटेरियल. सो डिपेंडिंग अपॉन द, हमने पढ़ा था कि फ्लेमिंग ने स्टेनिंग की थी टू डिटरमाइन टू डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ सब्सटेंसेस की ये जो कलर्ड बॉडीज हैं. तो बेसिकली क्रोमेटिन मटेरियल जो है उसको हम बेसिक डाई से स्टेन करते हैं. यू कैन राइट द मिथिलीन ब्लू और यू कैन ऑल्सो राइट दैट दे आर स्टेन बाय एसिटोकार्माइन. जब भी हमको यूक्रोमेटिन और हेट्रोक्रोमेटिन देखना है तो हमने उसको एसिटोकार्माइन से स्टेन किया था, एंड ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ दैट वी फाइंड टू डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ मटेरियल इनसाइड द न्यूक्लियस. That is your euchromatin and heterochromatin. I will just share the screen and discuss, and before that let me rub the board in order to explain the thing. Just a minute. So as I told that your nucleus also is a double membrane bound cell organ. There is two membrane, the outer membrane and the inner membrane. There is two membrane, the outer membrane and the inner membrane. This is your outer and this is your inner. Let the board dry. So basically you can see here in between the two membrane there is a space, and that is known as perinuclear space. And this space, what is the dia of this space, what is the diameter of this space? It ranges from 10 to 50 nanometer. तो ये perinuclear space होता है. Inside there is your nucleoplasma.
Ma'am, do we have to draw this?
No. ये हम next day भी बनाएंगे. There is a number of chromatin material. बहुत सारे chromatin material present होते हैं inside the nucleus, and there is nucleolus. Nucleolus is also there, and inside the, you can see here, यहाँ पर ये आपका न्यूक्लियर एनवेलप है, या फिर आप बहुत सारे बुक में ऐसे लिखा रहता है towards the end or towards the lower side of the nuclear envelope there is nuclear lamina or the nuclear matrix. ये है intermediate filaments. इस तरह से पूरे में present होता है. One thing that you have to learn here and listen very carefully, कि the outer membrane and the inner membrane of the nucleus, they are fused at certain places. They are fused and joined at certain places. They are joined. They are joined like this. And this is the pore known as nuclear pore. And this nuclear pore is because of the exchange of the substances between the cytoplasm and the nucleus. So for the passage or the transportation of the substances between the nucleus and the cytoplasm, there are small pores known as nuclear pores. They are made up of special proteins known as nucleoporins. Nucleoporins. This is your nucleolus. This is your nuclear lamina. और न्यूक्लियर मैट्रिक्स भी बोलते हैं इसको. This This is your nucleoplasm.
Ma'am, upper body is not visible.
My board is not visible. Why, bacha?
Ma'am, that upper portion.
Actually, I can't see my board. Yes, now. Okay, so this is the structure. So what I have told recently, when the Fleming used to stain the chromatin material with acetocarmine, he find two different types of chromatin materials. ये जो chromatin materials spread है in the nucleoplasm, they are stained by acetocarmine. 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 It's also a basic dye. And he found that some of the chromatin material, they are stained lightly. They are euchromatin. Euchromatin. And some of the chromatin material, they are stained dark, and they are known as heterochromatin. So I can write here कि euchromatin का मतलब होता है lightly stained और heterochromatin का मतलब होता है darkly stained. क्लियर? दिख रहा है सबको? मैंने नॉर्मल राइटिंग में लिखी है euchromatin and heterochromatin. Visible to all
Ma'am,
of
the
you?
board is
Ma'am,
Yes.
board is blur.
Board is blur.
Yes.
It is not visible clearly.
Okay, just a minute. Actually, ना कोई खुद को still it's the same. The board is blur.
no, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Okay.
No, ma'am.
So, what are the major difference? The first difference is on the basis of the staining that your euchromatin is lightly stained and your heterochromatin is darkly stained. So, heterochromatin जो darkly stained है वो कैसा दिखेगा? It appear as a darkly stained granular substance. आपको granular substances के जैसा दिखेगा. और जो euchromatin है वो lightly stained है तो वो तुम्हें fibrous के जैसा दिखेगा. That is the difference. Euchromatin, as they are lightly stained, so it appears fibrous, and the heterochromatin, as they are darkly stained, they appear as granular. Granular matlab acid. And euchromatin, light fibers. The another difference is in their size, diameter. Your euchromatin, which are lightly stained, the diameter is 10 to 30 nanometer. And your heterochromatin, which is darkly stained, they have a diameter ranging up to 100 nanometer, up to the 100 nanometer. तो इनके साइज में भी डिफरेंस होता है. हम देख रहे हैं कि यूक्रोमेटिन जो है उसका डायमीटर भी छोटा है. मैम टाइम, व्हाट टाइम, व्हाट हैपेंस जुनैद? So your euchromatin, it bears active genes. जब भी आप जेनेटिक इंजीनियरिंग मतलब जेनेटिक्स वाले चैप्टर्स पढ़ोगे क्लास 12th में, then you will came to know about a number of different types of genes, jumping genes, transposons, डांस भी करते हैं, तो there are number. So I will explain you about the active genes in the next class, but most of the active genes they are present in euchromatin. और जो हमारा heterochromatin होता है, it doesn't possess the active genes. It doesn't possess the active genes. तो हमारा काम की जितनी भी चीजें हैं ना वो यूक्रोमेटिन के पास है. As well as during the meiosis, क्योंकि अभी आप पढ़ने वाले हो, आप सेल डिवीजन आपने स्टार्ट कर दिया है. सेल डिवीजन पे जब भी हम meiosis पढ़ते हैं तो meiosis is in the reproductive cells and is responsible for creating the variation. So variation is due to the crossing over between the chromosomes. Crossing over होता है. And this crossing over is the exchange of material. मतलब जैसे हम छोटे क्लास में क्या करते थे, जब भी अपना लंच एक दूसरे के साथ शेयर करते थे, एक्सचेंज करते थे, पीस ऑफ समथिंग, मम्मा ने आज कुछ स्पेशल दिया है, या फिर आप अपने चॉकलेट को किसी के साथ शेयर करते हो, दीज आर टू क्रोमोसोम्स, दे विल एक्सचेंज द जीन्स लाइक दिस। ये पेंसिल के साथ थोड़ा सा ये नीचे का पोर्शन चॉक का आ जाएगा और चॉक के साथ थोड़ा सा पोर्शन पेंसिल का आ जाएगा, तो दिस इज द क्रॉसिंग ओवर. So crossing over is an important characteristic for variation that is found in your meiosis cell division, and this crossing over is also takes place in euchromatin. In euchromatin, crossing over is common evidence, but in case of heterochromatin, crossing over is inhibited. जो हमारा हेट्रोक्रोमेटिन है, जो डार्कली स्टेन्ड है, जो ग्रैन्युलर स्ट्रक्चर के जैसा दिखता है, वहां पर क्रॉसिंग ओवर भी वो उसको इनहिबिट करता है. सो योर एक्टिव जीन्स इज विद योर यूक्रोमैटिन, योर क्रॉसिंग ओवर इज रिलेटेड टू योर यूक्रोमैटिन. Euchromatin have a smaller diameter, that means to the range of 30 nanometer. The next one is that it's the lightly stained chromatin material. So these are the major differences between the chromatin material, which was found out by another scientist known as Fleming, and he used to dye the chromatin material with the help of the basic dye, that is your acetocarbene. Okay, so in the next class we will learn in detail about all the different things that I have written here in the board, कि what are nuclear poles, फिर हमारे न्यूक्लियोप्लाज्म में क्या होता है, फिर हमारा न्यूक्लियर लैमिना क्या करता है, न्यूक्लियोलस के बारे में, all the things we will read in detail in the next class. ठीक है? Okay? चलो फिर, see you all in the next class.
Bye,
Want to
ma'am.
ask anything?